My boobula and I are having a little party.
Looks like you're preparing for some sort of a party. Every day is a party with us.
If you are familiar with my channel, then you know what we do here is learn how to create hairstyles from the early and mid 20th century. And it's spooky season. Put these two things together and voila! How to style a 1960s Morticia Addams wig. The Addams Family television show aired on ABC from 1964 through 1966. Actress Carolyn Jones played Morticia Addams, the perfect ghoulish mid-century housewife. She was very concerned about the well-being of her children.
Sweet dreams.
I hope they're about gorillas.
She was attentive to her husband.
Well,
I know what you're going to say. After such an enlightening and courageous speech, I shouldn't thank them. They should thank me. I agree completely.
She gardened.
Is mother's baby hungry?
And she knitted. Granted, she is a well-off housewife. There appears to be a lot of family money, no matter how much money Gomez would lose on bad business decisions. So she didn't have to cook or clean. As a good mid-century housewife, Morticia Addams is also attentive to her beauty. While she is giving her cousin Melancholia a makeover, we get a quick glimpse of Morticia's vanity in her bedroom with a couple beauty jars. And she explains to her cousin,
Now come along to the mirror. I want to pluck your eyebrows.
and of course her tweezers look like this. I have a confession to make. I used to refer to it as plucking eyebrows as well. My beauty school teacher, Miss Lil, cured me of that. She would correct us. You pluck a chicken, you tweeze the eyebrows. In season 1, episode 3, little Wednesday Addams reveals to the Avon lady,
I sell cosmetics and toiletries. What kind of powder does your mommy use?
Baking powder.
I mean on her face.
Baking powder.
the makeup, yes, the show is black and white, but you can actually find color photographs of them in their costumes from the television show. And yes, she has red lips and red nails. We see that Morticia does use a regular hairbrush to brush her hair, but not on Wednesdays. Wednesday gets the prickly pear cactus hairbrush. If you haven't ever seen this diamond of a television show, I highly recommend you watch it. You can actually watch it streaming live for free on the Pluto TV app. You can also watch it on the MGM Studios YouTube channel. Scissors aren't gonna work. It's not a real flower. I need wire cutters. But let's get to why we are here. The style of Carolyn Jones' wig in the 1960s television series models the direction hairstyles of the mid-60s were headed, with bigger, sleeker curls and length. For most of the series, her hairstyle had these soft waves that emanated out from the center part and curved in toward her forehead. It is this detail I am most interested in recreating. I have to admit that the design work was not easy. I went through a lot of trial and error, but that's the great thing about working on a wig. You can start working on it a week ahead of time. If you don't like the results you're getting, you just flat iron out the part you don't like, steam out what you don't like, and redo it until you get it the way you want it. My goal was to create a setting pattern that you don't have to be a curling expert or a brush out expert to recreate. I know a lot of people that are going to watch this video are not professionals. So hopefully I was successful in designing something that will be easy for you to execute at home. So let's get to it. In this video, I am working with two wigs. This synthetic lace front wig that I purchased at a locally owned costume store can handle up to a 340-degree Fahrenheit curling iron. I also have this very cheap $9.99 wig from the Halloween costume section of a big box store. I had to do some testing on this cheap wig to see what styling method worked well on it. I learned it handles both a low temperature curling iron of 170 degrees Fahrenheit and the wet set with a steamer method. Morticia's hair is long and has no layers, so try to find a wig without layers. Beware of buying wigs online. They can have more layers than the images will lead you to believe. Other supplies I'll be using in this video include wig blocks or foam wig heads available at your local costume shop or online, a wig stand, a steamer, a spray bottle with water, dish gloves, curling irons in 1.5 inch and 1 inch diameters, various clips including double prong and creaseless hair clips, sponge rollers, I use 1.25 inch and 1 inch rollers in this tutorial, straight pins, regular and rat tail combs, a soft detangling brush, a plastic yarn needle and thread or monofilament, hair nets. First, I'm getting both the $9.99 wig and lace front wig set up on wig blocks and stands. Sometimes the wig block will be a little loose on the stand, allowing the block to move around, which will make styling a pain. A trick to fix this is wrapping rubber bands around the stem of the stand first. Next, pin the wig to the block. With the $9.99 wig, you can just pin it anywhere along the front, middle, and back. For the lace front wig, you should properly block the wig, which is a special way to pin the lace down without damaging it. There are videos on YouTube that demonstrate the proper steps for blocking a lace front wig. Depending on the state of the wig when it comes out of the package, you may need to prep the shape some. This $9.99 wig was rough when it came out of the package with kinks in the strands. I also did some practicing on it, so I'm going to use a steamer to get the strands back to straight. The method of prep you do on your wig will differ based on what the wig's material is and what styling method it takes to. Some synthetic wigs take to water and medium heat. Some synthetic wigs take well to higher heat. My lace front wig came out of the packaging without needing any restyling. Here's my disclaimer, always use caution. I'm going to be working with steam today, which can burn you. Can you see that little red mark? Got myself with the steamer when I was testing some stuff out the other day. So, caution with the steam. Also, I'm going to be working with sharp pins. They can roll off a table pretty easily, so keep your pins in a pin cushion when they're not in use. Our $9.99 girl. I am assuming she's pretty comparable to anything that you're going to see at a costume store between the price of $9.99 to $19.99. She's some issues. I do like that her hair is all one length. She has 0 layers. Actually, the only layers are these to make the wig look thicker and so that you can't actually see the scalp through the, let me turn her a little bit. You can't actually see through the hair down to the cap of the wig. They added these there's all these little short layers of hair inside. I have been testing different things and getting mixed results. First gonna try a look on her before I get into the other wig, because once I do the other wig, I'm hoping it's gonna be one and done and I won't have to make any alterations because I just don't have that kind of time right now. So let's see. Working in sections, trying to follow the weft lines of the wig as much as possible. My design for setting the wig starts with curling all of the ends of the strands. Using a 1 1/2 inch curling iron set to its lowest possible temperature setting, I curled the ends of the wig in small, even sections. As with hair, uneven amounts of hair in each curl will result in uneven curls. Details I'd like to note about this curl pattern: I am only curling the ends with 2 full turns around the curling iron, not curling all the way to the top. I don't want the curl to start until it reaches the bottom of the neck. Also, as with hair, you should pin the curl in place to allow it to cool. If you let the strands hang down before they are cool, the curl will go limp. With this cheap material on this wig, I was having problems with iron shell marks forming when the strands wrapped around the outside of the closed shell. So I changed my curl method to wrap the hair around the wand 2 times and then closing the shell over the strands and ends. You should consider wearing a cloth glove to protect your fingers to do this. Continue curling the entire wig this way, keeping the curl focused and pinned at the neck. Because cheap $10 wig, this side has a lot less hair than the other side does. That's going to be interesting when I go to finish the styling. After the curls have cooled, it's time to release them. When you release the curls from the clips, you want them all going one direction on the right side of the head and the other direction on the left side of the head. Pick the lowest curl on the right side and remove the clip. With the curl held parallel with its rotation rolling toward the front of the wig, release the end of the curl down. It now appears that the curl's rotation is wrapping toward the face. Continue to release these curls uniformly in this direction on the right side. On the left side, release the curl opposite, so the curl wraps toward the left side of the face. This method will help the curls to form together sleekly. I want just one solitary wave at the forehead on either side, so I can't just curl the whole strand. I can only curl part of it. I also want the bend to be smaller, so I can't use the same curling iron I used on the rest of the hair. So for this piece, I'm curling using the steamer curl method commonly used on synthetic wigs. Start with a 1 1/4 inch sponge roller and remove the plastic roller clip. Separate out about a 1 by 1 by 1 inch section on the right side of the middle part. Spray just the top 4 inches of the strand with water. You don't want to get the ends wet because you will lose the curl from earlier. Comb the hair section at a diagonal, 45 degrees between the hairline and the middle part. Position the sponge roller at the hairline at a diagonal and flat wrap the hair around the roller beginning at the base. Wrap the strands around just 2 times. Pin the sponge roller to the wig block to keep it from unraveling. Repeat these steps on the left side of the wig. To set these curls, use a small handheld steamer to saturate the curl throughout with the hot steam. For safety, wear dish gloves to protect your hand. You want to get the heat at every angle of the curl. Wait to comb until the curls are thoroughly dry. Remove the pins and sponge roller carefully. Holding on to the middle of the section of strands, begin lightly combing from the base of the section down. With tension, hold the section so it looks straight. If you used the right curl method for the wig you are working with, the curl will bounce back. Slowly release the tension on the strand and use your comb to define the wave into place. Next, I use pins to hold the wave in place temporarily while I get the wave where I want it. Creaseless clips are also handy for this, but I don't want the clips all over the wave because they will get in the way of the final step. The next step is to lightly brush out the bottom curls. At the sides, grasp below the wave and hold it tight, so when you brush, it doesn't pull out the wave you formed.
I learned a couple things on how I'm going to do the nicer $65 wig a little differently. Love the way this turned out though. Further, I don't know why this side the reason why this one came down a little further is because it was a thicker piece of hair on the roller. Duh. If the roller is the exact same size, the thinner piece of hair is going to be a tighter curl than the larger piece of hair on the same size roller. The wave is bigger because the piece of hair was bigger. I would totally wear this wig to the party. Now, the next question is, but wait a second, Lauren. Carolyn Jones stood upright the entire time. She never had to bend down. She never had to do anything, not to mention she also had a professional hairstylist on set with her to fix her hair if it ever got out of place. So how are we gonna fight gravity to keep this wave piece from actually falling if you want to wear this wig in real world life?
So how do we keep this front wave in place? Inexpensive wigs don't backcomb the way human hair does, and I can't walk around all night like a finishing school graduate who trained with a book on her head. So we are going to have to stitch the wave in place with a plastic yarn needle and thread or monofilament. It works a lot like bobby pins. Here's how you do it. Cut off 3 or 4 feet of the monofilament or thread. Thread and then double thread the needle by lining up the halves of the thread so they are equal in length, and double knot the ends together. Next, carefully find a weft of the wig at the hairline and insert the needle around it. Before pulling the thread all the way through, insert the needle between the double threading so when you pull it through, the thread latches around the weft. Then, lightly weave the needle along the wave through the strands. Pull the thread all the way through so that it is now holding the wave in place. Continue to stitch sections in place until the shape is secure. You should be able to remove the needles without losing the shape now. A great advantage to this technique is that the strands will still slip enough through the stitching that you can still form and move the wave some to define it. Once you feel it is completely secure, insert the needle around another piece of the wig weft and pull the thread through. Cut the thread and tie the two ends together around the weft. Since I am styling this wig well ahead of our party, I put the wig in a hairnet to keep the curls protected. So now that I have practiced my plan on the $9.99 wig, I am ready to move on to the nicer lace front wig I plan on actually wearing for my costume.
This wig is called the Twilight. She's in color 1B. I'll see if I can find this one online and leave a link to it down in the description. I purchased her from a locally owned costume store. I encourage you to support your small businesses, but she was $65, so she wasn't exactly cheap. She is synthetic fiber and she can take heat up to, tag says 340 degrees. Her hair has some really nice weight to it, and I'm hoping that that will translate into feeling more like Morticia's hair in the TV show. I'm not really sure about the layers she's been cut into. They're very, very minor layers, but there is some layer there.
The lower curls are treated the same as the other wig, but this time I have the curling iron set to 320 degrees Fahrenheit, since that is what this wig can handle. I curled with 2 rotations of a 1 1/2 inch curling iron and pinned the curls in place to cool. On the shorter layers, I rotated the curling iron less on the ends to keep the curl low. After the curls are cool, release the curls in a uniform direction on the right side and left side so they will brush together, rotating toward the face. Be sure to go back to the styling of the $9.99 wig for more about this technique. This wig does not react to steam styling the same way the cheaper wig did, so I am using a curling iron to curl the front. And of course, since I changed the method, the results changed as well. So I went through some trial and error to get the results I wanted. But this is what I settled on that gave me the results I wanted. Sectioning out the 1 by 1 by 1 inch piece to the right of the middle part, using a 1 inch curling iron set to 320 degrees Fahrenheit, I wrapped the hair 1 1/2 times around the curling iron. I still used the sponge roller, but this time it was just to create an even base for the curl to cool on. After it is cool, remove the roller, hold on to the middle of the section of the strands, and lightly comb from the base of the section down. Slowly release the tension on the strand and use your comb to define the wave into place. Use straight pins to hold the wave and then follow the same steps from the $9.99 wig to stitch the wave to keep its form.
I am very happy with the way that this wig turned out. I am so excited to wear it to our party. If you try doing this wig at home for your costume, I would love to see it. I just want to see everybody else's results. I did okay. I did okay. This should be a little, I wanted it to like, I don't get to just, oh, I guess I could just walk around like this all the time. No. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Well, Gomez is wondering if I should consider doing black hair permanently.